What up? What up? We are back for another installment, another great conversation with the fellas.
Yes, sir.
Hope we're all happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with you fellas.
Absolutely.
Again, my name is Derek, Mr. Playmaker on IG. Another place you can find me that way. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to my man right here.
Yo, so we are discussing differences in raising daughters and sons. And I just want to read something before we get started that I found on the internet. And it's going inside of what we're talking about. It says the findings show that fathers of little girls tended to be more responsive to their daughter needs than fathers with toddler sons. And they spoke more openly to daughters about emotion, including sadness. Fathers of little boys, on the other hand, engaged in more rough and tumble play and used more achievement related language, including words like proud and top. So to me, what I'm taking out of that is as if you want your daughters to be more emotional intelligent, more in touch with their emotions. You cultivate their emotions more. They're free to express their emotions more. But with sons, you want them to be more competitors out here in this world. So using words like win, top, to just be a competitive nature, not so much emotion, but just be able to go out in the world to survive, to compete, to achieve, to win. And it's kind of true because with my son, I'm instilling him winning, going out here and winning. No excuses. Um, but I'm still, teaching him to deal with his emotions, though, to open up about his emotions, be able to talk and express himself. But I think it's important, though, as far as within a boy to instill like that winning mentality, that Mamba mentality, that dog. Because I want my son to be a dog. I want him to be better than me. So whatever I was good at, I want him to be better. So I'm gonna have to instill and make sure he just has that mindset, that winning mentality, no excuses, motivation, get it done, find a way.
Do you want that same for your daughter?
I do, but I think with her, I want that too. Um, but I want her to be soft, um, good wife material. I don't think well, my daughter, she doesn't need that leadership qualities as much as my son do because she's not going to lead the household. My son is, but for
What
her,
makes you so sure about that?
I know you just raised a bunch of women.
what makes me so short because I think it's just natural for a woman to be nurturing.
Mm.
And so with that natural nurturing, there's certain qualities that come within that. And it's not so much leading or, doing more of the masculine things that my son would do.
Right.
So I think it's more important for him to have those characteristics and for her to have her own goals. Yeah, I want you to achieve your own goals. But when you talk about being a wife and you want to support your man, then you have to have certain feminine characteristics. I think that's a little bit better. That's me personally.
So I understand what Steve is saying right now, but for us to kind of let's just unpack it a little further to clear any misconceptions. He's referring to in the institution of a marriage. In the institution of a marriage, this is your role as wife. This is your son. This would be your role as husband. So, daughter, when you are in the institution of marriage, this is your role. Yes, you do. Um, these are the different things that you know fall under your role. As for your son,
Right. Or a committed relationship.
yeah,
For people who not
right,
right
right.
to me, if you're in a committed relationship, then it
But
works out better when things are aligned that way.
I like that. But let's start changing the narrative from a committed relationship to this is what you need to be doing to prepare to become married.
Mm.
Because in any relationship, it has to be a commitment. We all had a commitment to be here by 250. And in the capacity of our relationship, we're bros in the True Leon Army camp that's coming together to, be positive and just put out some positive energy in the podcast world. So we got to start really changing out the gate how we start, raising our babies, our sons and our daughters. And the conversation needs to be marriage. No, you're not going to date for forever. Marriage, or else that's not for you.
That's where you at. That's where you at.
And yeah, because at the end of the day, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Now let me ask you something. Go ahead.
Before we get too deep in there, I want to make sure everybody gets their point of view across. But before we get to that point of view, I want to make sure that we are setting our landscapes correctly. So I do want to say I'm a father of 6. I have 2 girls and 4 boys.
Damn.
It is a mixed family. Yeah,
The Brady Bunch over here.
6. Real.
Big as
So just to paint that picture, I do have an opinion coming from somewhere of heart. I'm not saying anything that's said today will not be said to hurt or out of ignorance. And I'm sure you have a family.
Yes, I do. I have a daughter, 15, a son. He's 15. My daughter's about to be 16. And then I got a younger son. So yeah.
I'm a father. I got a daughter. She'll be 19 in September. My son will be 13 in May.
Okay.
Married Viking. Got 8 of them. 4 girls, 4 boys. Hold on. Let me correct that. I have 9. 5 boys, 4 girls.
Fire.
So at the end of the day, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
He zoned in on that be fruitful and multiply. He really zoned in on that part.
Hey, listen. But you know what though?
What's up?
I'm a result of what wasn't told to me by the man that should have been telling me.
Okay.
So like I love topics like this because, man, listen, I was a piece of shit for a long time. Why? Because I didn't have the person there that should have been telling me.
Give me
Don't be him.
that little bit of game.
Don't be him. So this is what we.
Okay.
This is what we. You
I
know.
like that. I like that. So
Yeah.
with that being said, we're all fathers here. So, and I'm gonna bounce this question to you. When we are in interactions with our children, we have older children as well. They are now able to think and move somewhat on their own now, to where they don't need you as much. When they go out into the dating world, is it your views and opinions that you're pushing onto your children? Is it the world's views and opinions? Or is it your upbringing? Where are you getting your background to where now you are feeding that to your children?
It's 2 things. It's philosophy and then it's demonstration. So I can tell them what I think and put together good and bad examples of what I think to where they can understand it and try to interpret it into their life. And then I can demonstrate what what they should be expecting because of how I treat their mom. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like I show them what a relationship looks like. Yeah, I'm way more affectionate with my wife than what I seen my parents be. And my parents, they had a toxic ass marriage, but they love the fuck out of each other. Same.
Major.
Like that's a change that I was able to make in my relationship, not come to it with that same toxicity.
Mhm.
So that's a plus in itself. Now, as far as my kids go, like I said, philosophy is different because with my little girl,
Right.
she came first. So she don't have an older brother to give her that older brother game. So I have to give her that older brother game. I didn't give my daughter so much game where she's kind of vicious. You know what I'm saying? And not like in a whorish way or nothing like that, but like if a nigga think he's gonna get over on her, she'll definitely have the last laugh. Right. Just cause of, you know what I'm saying,
With that.
bullshit that I've done or things that I know that I've, you know what I'm saying, just fellas being fellas on a mission or whatever, and you input that type of game in hell. She's almost 19 years old. She probably didn't delve into some of them what's the name just cause she wanted to. Like it's not like you didn't have the knowledge of what was going on. If that was the case or anything, it's like I gave you the game for this. But also it's not my job to show her how to be soft. Like she gets that from her mom. You know what I'm saying?
I beg to differ on that. Go ahead, P.
What you mean?
I beg to differ on that. It is your job.
Yeah.
It is your job to tell her how to be soft. You know why? Because if your wife was this hard woman, you wouldn't love her the way that you love her. So there's a certain softness that your wife possesses that still keep you on fire for her.
Mhm.
So for your daughter, there's a certain level of softness she's going to have. Because what if she runs into that guy who comes from good soil,
Mhm.
but she's just, yeah, man, I ain't going,
New York bad.
Then what?
Word.
Then
Nah,
what?
that's the thing. It ain't
So break softness down. Break it down for me.
it ain't all in like play these niggas this that whatever. Like it's like you don't want to have 10, 12 boyfriends to figure it out. So like you know what I'm saying. Like my daughter's a girly girl. Like my wife was kind of like tomboyish compared to my daughter. So she's already way softer than what you can imagine. Anyway, way more emotional. I've seen my daughter cry way more times than I've seen my wife cry in our relationship. We've been together 22, almost 23 years. So you know what I'm saying? Like she's soft. So that's why she has to have the game because you know what I'm saying? My wife is more or less like I don't know, a nigga to where if you can knock my wife, she just gotta like you. Cause it ain't
cold motherfucker,
it ain't no spooning her. Like she just
Gotta be that guy.
you just gotta be that guy to her. So it's the same with my daughter too, cause hell, she likes who she likes and whatever situation she might get into. Cause as kids get older, that's one thing that I also realized. You want to instill shit, but you really have no control over how the way this kid turns out.
You do. I think
You
so.
do.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
do.
think you do.
That's a question.
So
That's a good question.
And this first
Has
question,
it person?
No.
yes.
yeah.
You mean like?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
mean like
Between
as far
children
as?
at a young age.
Yeah.
Do you mean like as far as decision making, or as who
As far
they
as
actually become?
person, like,
Yeah, you do.
like
You do.
whether or not.
No,
So if your kid turns out gay, it's your fault.
not that. Not that.
Well, you can't control. You said that you're in control
But
of.
I'm saying if your kid turns
Are you in control or not?
on some stuff,
You
but
motherfucker.
not
I see shit
Singular
going on.
type
It's
of-
like okay, well, what if you have to come to that conclusion and you sitting in front of your kid and they like, well, yeah, dad, I'm as
But you don't have no control over that.
Okay.
Come on, like
So you don't have control.
okay, so
That's what you're
if your
saying.
kid turns out selfish and ungrateful,
Individuality too,
do
though.
you have control over that? If your kid turned out selfish and ungrateful, do you have control?
Yes, you do.
Because you could have told your kid how to be unselfish.
Yeah, but that's morals and values, though.
But you instill that in your kid.
Let's really.
to instill that.
Yeah. No, you do.
You do.
No, ain't no
If
try.
they grow up and they
you
display
do.
that,
You
then
try.
you
No.
That's the problem. You as a young kid now you display those things.
My dad, they instilled a lot in me. They tried to instill everything into me.
But you say
Piece of shit every day, was you?
No.
What we mean, like, what I'm saying is, the morals and values, that shit start from the seed on up. You know, so
But there
do you hold the
were
door for your
actual
wife?
days.
But do you hold the door for your wife?
I'm sorry.
Do you hold the door for your wife?
Yeah, for
Do you
sure.
open her car door?
As much as I,
Where'd you get that from?
That's what I'm saying. Where'd you get it from?
my parents.
Those are things that matter.
So that's control.
Yeah.
That's control.
You remember what Drew said? Hey man, don't take her no fucking suit if she's sick.
Yeah.
No, don't send her no flowers. But after we talked about it, let me finish. After we talked about
A
it,
little bit, yeah.
Drew's whole concept was, wait a minute, I am raising a good guy. I'm raising a very great son. So at the end of the day, Drew's whole viewpoint was, wait a minute, hold on. That's not a bad thing. That's a very good character trait. So Drew's coaching is, hey man, every girl don't get that.
And that's why I say
Yeah.
philosophy
Yeah.
versus demonstration. Like, okay, well, I can give you all these ideals about it to try to mold your young mind. You know what I'm saying? But I can show you this is what you want to give somebody.
That's molding them indirectly.
Of course.
What's your philosophy? And where'd you get it from?
I mean, as far
I want to know because I want to ask everybody the same question. Where did you get that philosophy from, though? Where do you feel like it came to you from?
I think the way I raise my kids, more or less just hell. y'all special to begin with. Y'all smart anyway. Like whatever y'all do, y'all gonna be good at. You don't have to be excellent because you're gonna be excellent on accident. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Positive affirmations.
That's a bar.
I don't do nothing wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not to say like in like a bad moral way or anything like that, but like as far as everything that I try, I'm good at. So everything that comes from me gonna do that.
Mhm.
So I get what you're saying
Yep,
as far
yep,
as
passing
instilling
along.
that type of shit.
Passing the positivity
Yeah.
along.
What I say, what I'm saying as far as like you can't necessarily control always how your kid turns out. Like hell,
Right.
my junior, he looks like my wife's dad, and he used to look like me, and it's fucking me up. Like his body is starting to turn into like this nigga's feet bigger than mine, and like it's a different type of psychology for me.
I think we can have more influence on our kids than society.
Of course, you're supposed
We
to.
can have more indirectly, directly, based on what you tell them and based on what you show them. I have a no excuse, don't quit mentality. So based on me getting up every morning, getting it done and not using excuses, hopefully they'll see that in me and they'll adopt the same thing. But to answer your question, I think what I instill in them come from everything. It comes from my upbringing because that's what I go off of. Like how my mom raised me, what I think worked. Then it comes from my personal experience. You know, what I think worked, and then the world. The world's changed. So sometimes you have to adapt to, okay, this ain't the 50s no more. This is 2024. So as far as what they did in the 50s or whatever, that's not this not that. The world does change. So you have to change. I would say 20% that, but more importantly is just my past experiences and what my parents instilled in me, especially those basic morals and fundamentals that shouldn't change. I mean, how to treat people,
Yes.
Foundation based.
Yes.
Where they come from. What you're saying is,
They come from
what I think
the
you're
parents.
saying, right? Your parents,
Yeah.
and your upbringing. What
Yeah.
about you, Coach?
Man, mine come from my parents. My grandma, my parents, and they got it from their parents. My biological was never there. So I turned out way fucking different than that scumbag did. And at the end of the day, it was based upon what my mom and my stepdad, the introducing me to Christ first, or not introducing me, because they was in Christ, so I was already in Christ through them. So the religion background, but then just coming up, my mom told me at 6 months I was taking my shoes off, putting them in the closet neatly. I have OCD to this day, but that's because they taught me earlier on. My mother, when you done doing this, you put it back where it belongs. So the morals and values that I teach my babies, I know comes from my upbringing, 100%. It ain't none of this bullshit perception that I grew up in, because times do change, but the foundation never changes. The golden rule. Why you think you can go in any school in the fucking America and they know about the golden rule, P? You can go anywhere, East Coast or West Coast, and you're a rapper, but you say, give me 16. And if you're talking to a rapper, they're going to give you what? They're going to give you, because that's the foundation. That's the fundamental of a rapper. 16. So some shit just don't change.
Right.
That's true.
This bullshit ass world changes every day.
Yeah. Progression.
Yeah. But the core don't.
Now, with that being said, in the sense of relationship and in the sense of having children, now we have children that are in the dating field. We have boys and girls who are dating out here. We have boys and girls who are in the active sex world now. How do we feel? Like, I feel like I'm gonna just say naturally, I would expect higher standards from my daughters than I do my boys as far as how they treat the other sex. I'm not saying I'm okay with my sons treating women less, because my number one rule is you treat every woman that you encounter like you would want your mother to be treated or your sister to be treated. And that's flat out. And that's how I'm.
Yeah, expand on that though, because I think what you just said is the most important piece. If they're treating everybody like they want their mom to be treated, then that means their level of respect is here. So expand. So like break that down, because I think that's good.
Right. So I was raised by a single mother. So how I see the world is how my mom saw the world, and I watched her from afar. So not am I feminine acting in a sense. Do I have the emotions that she has? No. But I watched how she reacted to the world that was reacting to her. And what I saw was a very strong woman, a very intelligent woman, and I have went out and found that same woman for my life. So when it comes to my children, I do want my daughters to be that same. I want you to be educated. I want you to work hard. I want you to be a leader. I want you to be everything that a man can be, but have that soft nature as well because you are naturally a woman. So that comes back to my upbringing, like the natural providing, like the woman should be the nurturer,
Okay.
the husband should be the provider and the protector.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So you said single. You
I was
said
raised by
single.
a single mom, yeah.
So for a while before my stepdad, my mom was a single parent mother. However, I blame my mother for my choice in women. You know why? Because I went off what I saw on surface level.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't count one conversation where my mom sat down with me and told me, "This is what you need to look for. This is what I like in men."
Mm-hmm.
So if mommy was to da 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 da, I have no idea. And you know what's crazy? I had this conversation with my mother, and she was like, "I'm sorry."
Let me ask you this.
Sorry, because he wouldn't listen.
My father my biological father was abusive, and they divorced. So then my mom did remarry because my granddad and my grandmother, they were always married. They both died. One had a heart attack, one died of cancer.
I just want to ask these questions because, you know what I'm saying, when these clips go viral and they be like, well, was your mom single?
Yeah. So my mom, well, hopefully they had their listening ears on because I said right before my stepdad came, my mom was a single parent mom.
Okay,
So my mother's always been married.
gotcha.
My mom has always tried to live her life by her spiritual and religious. By her, I don't want to use the word religious. I want to use the word beliefs.
Mhm.
I just want to use the word by her beliefs. But coming up, I caught the version of my mom that I had was survival mode mom.
Mhm.
So like you said, intelligent. We seen these things, but I never got a chance to really see my mom be a wife until now I'm 40. So now I can look at my mom and say, that's a wife now. That's not just my mother. That's a wife now. And I can see her smile. I can see her laughing. And I know, y'all are corny, you know what I'm saying? But I can see her just like I see my wife now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? What I think is important too, when we talk about our children getting into the dating world, naturally you're gonna talk to your son about girls and how many you got, how many, so we're gonna do a lot of room talk. And then the mothers is gonna talk to their daughters about how guys should treat them. And if they, what I think is important, they switch. The mother talk to the son about what to look out for in women because she has that woman experience.
Mhm.
And if she's doing this, and then the me talks to my daughter about what to look out for. I think that's more powerful because I'm experienced.
Yep.
I know how we move. I know how we act.
And not from a broken place.
Exactly.
From a stable-minded
And be real.
mom and dad.
Be real about it.
Yes.
About intentions. And like I said, it's different stuff to the game now. Back when I grew up, we didn't have TikTok or DMs, Instagram. It is a little different. That's what I'm saying. You gotta navigate through these different times, but I think it's important, like, to switch. Yeah. Mom, you talk to your son. You talk to your daughter about the game, so they can have everything. They can have both.
I want to ask the
I think
room
that
too.
I think that comes with having healthy relationships with your kids anyway.
Mhm.
Like, I think it would be impossible to not have that conversation if, you know what I'm saying, if you have a kid that's the opposite sex of you and where,
Message.
like, nigga, last night, not last night, but 2 nights ago, my daughter, she worked until late now because, like, she go to Sinclair now full time and she got a full time job. Like, nigga, she making the type of money I was making at PNC.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? And then she started UD in the fall, and then she graduated a year after that, and then she's going back for something else, and all this shit is free. So you know what I'm saying? She's doing things that we never did. But my wife was the bookworm and the gumption. I've just always been smart. I wanted to either do some business by myself or I do the music and all that. So we're different, but at the same time, we both excel at what we do. So our kids want to do better. Like, um, I asked my daughter, like, what do you want to add to this? What do you want more than what you grew up having? Because I feel like our house is calm as hell. Like out of the home that I come from, I have the most calm house out of all my siblings and stuff. Because even when their kids come over, they can chill out. They might even read a book or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a real calm, it's serene place. It's peaceful. Hell, we got a gym, a sauna, all this extra stuff just for relaxation and a place of peace. So
I come to your house.
yeah, you can. But it's just like, well, what else do you want to add to this, or where do you want to see yourself? Like a house, a bigger house, and all that shit. Yeah, that's cool and everything, but like, what do you want to add to it to really gonna have you happy in life as hell? There was a point in time when I had a drawer full of money, a foreign car. I was buying jewelry and this, that, whatever.
You got Audi, didn't you?
Huh?
You got Audi, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen it?
you? Yeah, I remember that.
It's just like, no, it's like how it was. But at the same time, it's I'm still wrapped up in the disease or more, like J. Cole has said, just like and thinking that okay, well, if I can keep getting more, but not being happy with what's going on in the house and around here, like I started to get distracted from my wife just being in love with money, how much it was coming. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's worried about stuff, and I'm not worried about nothing because everything looks good.
Yeah. So now that we got this little background to it, here's the real question. Would you, or how does it go in your household when it comes to dating
Thank you. I knew you was gonna ask that. I was
and
you to ask that.
your daughters
Yep. Here we go.
versus
Here we go.
their son?
It's a difference. I was waiting on you to ask that. There's definitely a difference.
Where's the difference at?
Okay. Well, this is an unpopular opinion. They're not gonna like it, but promiscuity looks worse on women than it does men.
Says who?
Says society.
Okay.
Says society. I think that's where this whole body count thing comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that is a double standard, and it is what it is. And you're gonna be different with your daughter and with your son. Clothing choice is gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna moderate her clothing choice a little bit stricter, curfew.
But why?
Out late. Your son might be, but
honestly, by the time she even get to dressing like that, you shouldn't even have to modify it or whatever. Like that's what I'm saying.
You
Like
say it should be understood.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. She gonna know where you stand and where it's like.
yeah.
But why though? What's the premise of that?
Because
And on top of why though, what I want to make sure we frame out what you're saying. So what you're saying is, when it comes to your son and your daughter, there is a double standard. You understand there's a double standard,
right.
and you're saying there's gonna be a double standard.
Yes, the world exists, double standards exist.
Okay.
That's just what it is. Because how we view if you view a woman that's acting like a man as far as promiscuity, you're gonna view her different. It's just not the same.
Vagina is not as available as penis.
Exactly.
That's
But that society agrees though.
Can I get Coach D?
No.
I'm gonna Coach D's opinion on it.
No. These female rappers and what they talking about, man. We done talked about Sexy Red. We done talked about Lotto.
yeah,
Nicki.
but we're not
But
talking. We're not talking about the men that's compatible with them. No, we talking about the men that they chewing up.
Time out, but we don't know who those men are. All we see is what we see on TV. A lot of them. Look, Safari's a clown. Who knew Nicki Minaj would be dating Safari? He's a fucking clown, man. In my opinion, my humble opinion. But my point is this: at the end of the day, it's not fair to say anymore in our day and age that what society will accept.
But what they pushing with sexy, they're trying to push that, but I don't think that's going. I mean, they're trying to, but you're gonna look at a woman differently than you look at a man when it comes to promiscuity. I mean, that just is what it is.
So you saying is she like, hey, I got 30 bodies.
She can't, man. No, because you look at her.
She asks you like, man, I got 150.
I'm gonna pose you this
I'm not saying that like to you know, I'm not saying it in a way that, you know, if we say we got 150, they got 30. Because I mean, let's keep it a buck, man. If you a stud out here knocking shit down, then yeah, you
So
that's
50 bodies
in a lifetime, you know, in
50 bodies on a woman different than 50 bodies on a man.
yeah.
Of course.
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Okay.
Stop. Time out. Time out. No.
Go ahead, man.
Here, I'm gonna retract that. No, it's the fucking same. Listen, see, but
Technically, it is. I'm talking about how we view it, though.
in this day and age, in the shit that we gotta adjust our minds to. Let me ask you, okay, 50 bodies on a woman or gay, or she gay?
All right, hold on. Before we go there, because
I mean,
all the way
look,
off the rail.
I'm saying it to say, pick your poison. In this day and age,
We just talking bodies.
no bodies. So coming up, the answer is yes. I'm gonna look at it different. Coming up,
It's still a lot of people
As
that
a
think
young
like
person
us in
coming
the
up.
world. The media is just making it seem like it's still a lot of people who think like me.
there's a bunch
It's
of
still a lot.
I feel like first bones though, and they still go.
A woman telling you she has 50 bodies is a problem. You should have enough class and carry yourself to where that's
time frame.
No,
it don't even matter. Like if you got 50, like keep that shit to yourself. Like, if I like you for real, motherfucking, I can understand if because like you know, I mean, Derek, we grew up together, so I know how you was. Like,
I'm telling you, I was a fucking slime ball.
but what I'm saying is like it's women out here where it's like they up there and they not out there as necessarily whores.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't a whole bunch of if you ain't that popular, niggas just, yeah, I knocked off so and so and da 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 da.
Lil Kim had a kid, so what's that say? Lil Kim had a kid.
He's the baddest.
Come on.
No. If you talk about bodies, she had a kid still.
Now, Coach, the
Let's
question comes back to: do we raise our sons differently than we raise our daughters?
Yes.
How would you? Let's
No.
say if your daughter comes to you and says, "Hey, Dad, I want you to meet my new boyfriend." Her new boyfriend is captain of the track team, captain of the debate club. But you know him,
Scholarly person.
You know him. You know his mom. You know his old upbringing.
I know his mom.
But you also know he gets it in.
Yeah, he's one
Right.
of them type.
He's one of those
Rolling Stone.
under the you know what I mean, flying under the radar.
So am I making an assumption because of his stature that he gets it in?
However, but what I'm saying is when it comes to your daughter and your son, do you approach those situations differently?
No,
You approach them both the same.
I'm going to approach them both the same.
Do
Here's
they have
why.
the same? Go ahead.
Here's why. In the example that you gave me, I'm reading in between the lines. Like, here's a young man. Obviously, if you're doing all of this, 9 times out of 10, you come from some type of decent background. And the fact that you're doing all of this, what you're going to attract attention. Now, what I want to verse my daughter on is, can he handle that attention? There's no different if my daughter is motherfucking Angel Reese, plays for LSU,
Right.
stud, a millionaire. She has an NIL deal. She's a millionaire. No. Ball player. Sorry, world. Let me correct that. I'm a basketball coach.
Yeah.
Stud is just an
Fuck me up.
all-around good player. Stud is an all-around good player.
Yeah.
You know, a stud has yeah. They can go.
Okay.
Yeah, they can go. I'm sorry.
It makes sense.
They're all-around good ball player. You know, no matter what sport it is, just all-around good ball player. But it doesn't matter if it's my son, you know, dating the likeness of Angel Reese, or if Angel Reese is my daughter. Can you handle? Can you trust that this young person that you're dating is going to make the right decision and or be committed to you? As parents, we don't know that. So who am I to really judge or not this young man or this young lady? Because I don't know what morals and values your parents have poured into you. What I can see on surface level is debate team, track team.
Yeah.
Your fucking parents or whoever taught you not to be a fucking loser. And what you say, Steve? Hey, I'm not giving up. I don't have a losing spirit. So those are attributes that I'm looking at like, okay, now as a parent, I want to ask, what did your parents do? Hey, did your parents graduate college? Because right now, on surface level, the path that you're on a really positive path right now. Because the average young person is gonna come in with skinnies on. They're gonna come in with their head down, shoulders. The first thing I look at a young man, and my daughter's 19. First thing I look at, the first young man that I ever met, he walked in and his fucking chest didn't walk through the door first.
I'm dealing with
He hit me with this. He gave me a limp. He gave me a limpy.
Handshake.
He gave me a limpy. And how you do? Just like this. She like, Dad. Excuse me. Hey, get this motherfucker out of my house. Period. Period. And guess what? My daughter, the next young person my daughter brought around me, decent young man. He's 20, works at Walgreens full time. He wants to be a pharmacy tech. So Walgreens, I believe, has a program where you can actually go through and be in the field and get hands-on training. I said, thank you. I'm like, Daddy. Now, here's the other part. I know how I raised her. So now you're 19. She's living on her own. So now, what you allow to penetrate your soul and put your mind in a place as to where it's contrary to how I raised you. Now, God also says you're at an age of accountability. That's on you. That doesn't take away nothing as father, take away from nothing as fathers that we have done.
That goes back to my original point of you don't really have no control. Like you can instill, you can impute, but overall they have to practice. So
But the Bible also says raise a kid up in a way that they should go, and they'll never depart.
Yeah, they'll know that, but walking the path and knowing that is different. That's like hell. The path is over there. I smell strawberries over there.
Okay, so do you stay locked in even when they're 19 on their own? Do we stop being a parent?
Nah.
You never stop being a parent.
So that's why I say we do have control, because if I'm in your ear, you're going to retain that shit. It's no different than a kid studying for this world, this fucking history exam in college. You keep studying it and keep saturating your mind with what you need to do.
And it could come out later. Even if they make mistakes,
passion. Because your last dialogue was great. Everything you just said was perfect. But you had a lot of passion towards your daughter in that dialogue.
My son?
Do you have that same?
Yeah, I do. You wanna know why?
Vigor?
Hold on, you wanna know why? Because my biological father ain't shit and was never there for me to teach me to be a better man. You dig what I'm saying? See, we're all made up of two parts, a mama and a daddy. So it's two genetics that reside inside of our bodies. I got this genetic over here. I go to work. I graduated college. I do the shit I'm supposed to do. Have I made my fucking mistakes as a man and a husband? Of course I have. But I'm rare because I'm gonna look in the mirror and tell a motherfucker everything I done did. You're not gonna use it against me. So what I'm gonna tell my son is what this nigga should have told me. So my passion and vigor is the same towards him. Bro, you bringing a motherfucker in my house dressed like this at fucking 3 years old, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. You're not bringing wifey material home. You know you have wifey material because when God sent her to you, you're going to see it.
I just want to say something. And be real, man. So if your son come in, got a badass woman, I'm talking body, coat bottom. Yeah, she ain't wifey material.
What age we talking?
Ain't age.
talking what 15, 16, 17? What?
Dating age where you feel comfortable with the date.
Yeah.
So everybody's barometer is different, but just the age that you will feel comfortable. So your son come in, got a badass woman. I'm talking body, everything. But let's say, she ain't wife material. You still go like,
How do I know she's not wife material?
We saying you know. Nah, I don't know you.
Let's say she dresses some stuff that like you shouldn't wear.
You know she
to
know.
meet your parents, right? Now
Can you
let's say
still
now,
play it, man?
Mighty, I know I'm like shit. That nigga young, dumb, having fun.
See, that's where you get that.
He got something to play with.
But if you bring her somebody,
Now,
to me,
if I was into something,
that's a different. That's a different story. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing: you're not about to just keep bringing people in my house.
Because this is the thing I wanted to have.
You're not going to just keep bringing.
He brought it to the barbecue.
This is what I wanted to have.
You want to show pops?
When you was talking about your 19-year-old and like she's not in the house, so do you think that what you're saying has as much control over being when she's not in the house anymore? Because as a child, when you move out and you start to do your day-to-day, like everybody's word becomes less and less because like you're doing for yourself and your life is starting to move on. Like that's what it is.
But
Your kids get older and you know, like as they turn into teenagers, you see them not needing you, then they stop coming out their rooms, or you know what I'm saying? They just be motherfucking. They'll be living their lives. They got stuff going on.
yeah,
So when they get off and get out on their own, it really becomes their own separate lives. To where it's like, all right, well, now they really have to practice those morals and the principles and just the natural ethics of life to navigate out there. And yeah, you may talk to them every day and speak to them about what they're going through, but it might not fit into what's going on in their life.
so let me ask you this: can I go to their job and speak for them? Why? Because they had what?
Because it's their job. They don't know.
Nah, because they're an adult.
Yeah.
They're an adult. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what you're saying is right. No, I may not be able to tighten the reins on them, but I did everything I knew to do and some to instill and to make sure that when I send you off, I trust and believe in what I believe in my higher power that you're going to walk in that same faith. You make mistakes.
We all do that,
Yes,
bro.
but
I'm just saying, like
what you're saying is they gonna fuck up and make mistakes. So therefore, that's gonna contradict some of the things that I done.
they're gonna walk the walk like we had to walk the walk. We just hope they take their steps a little bit better.
Nah, because you're not gonna control everything.
Hold on, I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that. Yeah.
Was that if your son come home, you got we talking teenage. The object is when they grown, they out the house.
That's to go without saying. I know where you going because like your daughter can't bring home nothing just to smash.
Exactly. So
No way possible.
My son can't. Sorry.
And you know he about to smash. You be like, hey, boy.
I got to
Now you know your daughter can't bring a dude home. Let's say
Oh no,
he
so
comes-
might
he
be
got
getting
some
off at
stone-
17.
That's what mama gonna say. My wife's not going.
Well, we
Hold on.
got us.
That's why I say I gotta be in alignment with her. So therefore, when we had them conversations,
Yeah.
no nigga, you
It
can't
should be-
just bring
it should be
nobody up
So
anywhere.
it's not no different view. It's the same both ways.
No, but what
It's not
it depends on what it is, right? So if we are in the sense of they're 17, anywhere from senior year to adulthood,
Mhm.
and they come to you and say, "Dad, can I have such and such come over?" Sure, I want to meet them. You know what I mean? Come through, right? Dad, can me and such go upstairs into my room and just hang out? We don't want to be down here with the kids and all of that. We don't want to watch a movie with the family. We just want to be with just us for a second. Can we go ahead and go upstairs?
No.
And go.
No.
Boy, answer, girl.
And see, let me say, because when I was living at my dad's,
First boy,
and I was with my youngest kids, our older kid's mom, we was upstairs with the room with the door closed. Now my sister at the same age, he probably wouldn't have had that.
Mhm.
And it's a difference. I ain't gonna need front. It's a difference, man. He was more lenient to me. I get it. He was more lenient to me having a girl in my room than If my sister was it was the opposite.
But how do you feel? And I already assume how you feel because of how you
Yeah,
feel.
brother, it's gonna fall pretty much the same.
Yeah,
It's gonna fall pretty much the same. Man. I feel like too, she may be more at risk. My son can get pregnant.
To be
My son's body is not in jeopardy.
Okay.
But if
He
it's
can just be a dad.
yeah, but if my daughter like she can't, but my daughter couldn't. She has to face some difficult choices if she wasn't pregnant.
Okay.
Choice if you want to get an abortion or not. Choice if you want to have it. You got to carry it. Your body.
Your
body
son
will
don't have the
change.
same choices?
My dad.
He definitely got the.
can't get birth. He doesn't have the same choices.
No,
My
we
son
don't.
doesn't have.
We don't.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't. No.
Can you get an abortion?
I mean, but
No, you can't get an abortion. That's different than getting an abortion. That is different.
that's a choice, though.
He can come to dad.
Choice.
Listen, dad, I done fucked up, dad.
But he said,
Don't not do this.
Nah, I think.
but mentally, does he have to
He's saying from
mentally,
a whole different standpoint, like as far as even past pregnancy, just as far as like being a father and all that shit too, or you mean just pregnancy
I'm
wise?
talking about just being a father, what beyond, not even before pregnancy, just like the initial, the dude, you see the little guy that she's with or whatever, and you might like the guy, you might not like the guy, however it may be, however it may be. When they come to you on some, I'm so confident about this person to where I can ask you face to face, can I go upstairs in your house
no.
with this person?
Hey, Zoe.
How would you feel about that?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Zoe.
Is this your daughter? Yes.
Zoe. You allowed to have, hey, who your boyfriend, Zoe? That's right. Who the only boys that can love you?
Oh, that's right.
She ate.
And she ate.
That's influence.
You ran
I
good.
love it.
That's influence.
I think about
That's
That's what I'm saying. That influence does exist.
no, she just so happy.
That man you probably his.
But that's a no. We talking about hate.
I answered that on accident.
What I'm saying is, my daughter's more at risk if she gets pregnant than the guy she got pregnant by.
Of course.
Yes.
He can roll. He can roll.
And then emotionally, you don't want her to emotionally go through an abortion.
My son can't leave his child out here, bro. That's the same. That's vice versa.
That's a big one.
We saying he can't, but he don't have the same responsibilities as the woman.
But you can't. No,
Ultimately, he had the choice.
He gets birth.
We can say that.
We
can say
But he doesn't have a choice of abortion. He doesn't have no power in whether she gets an abortion or not. That's on her.
Power.
Hey, Dirk.
To be a dad.
Hey, check this out. You live right now. You on my podcast. Hey, we on a podcast together, me and my guys, right? Now, what did you say to me when I first started having kids? Now, I had a biological father. He was my biological father.
Okay.
That's my uncle. What did you say to me when I first started having kids?
I mean, the only thing I know I would say, man up, be a man, because you don't damn sure can take care of them.
Yeah. Now,
Right.
if I was a deadbeat, what would you have done to me?
Goddamn right.
Hey, and that's as an adult.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old. You will still put hands on me right now, won't you?
All day.
I got a question for you. I got a real question.
He ain't gonna fight you, man. I'm like 5 man.
Because I like what he said.
Love it.
All right, Larry.
I like what he said. Let me know what y'all
See,
think.
that's why I say I feel how I feel because that's the family I come from.
So you say if your son walks away, you're not promoting that. Handling responsibility if you get such and such pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm. Hold on, what?
If your son,
Yeah,
if your
yeah.
son is not his girlfriend pregnant, you saying you don't have a choice to walk away.
Ain't no walk away.
Even if
Yeah.
you know you're gonna take your responsibilities,
Yeah.
right? If your daughter gets pregnant,
Go ahead.
how would you feel if she wanted to get an abortion?
I'm-
Is that her opting out of being a parent?
No,
Are
no.
you asking me?
I'm asking you. If she gets an abortion, is that not her opting out of being a parent?
No.
It's
No.
not.
That
What do you mean?
know where you going with this, do you?
Yes. Okay. So if she can opt out of being a parent, if your son does it, why is he a deadbeat? But if she does it, it kills a life.
No, hold it. But now,
away from a child versus a pregnancy, that's different.
No, we saying
Double
if she
standard.
gets an abortion, that's
No.
all we know.
ain't nobody walking away at that point. She ain't walking away and he ain't walking away.
The child is here, but I'm saying
for abortion.
for an abortion? Like, I don't
No,
want money.
I'm
He
saying-
ain't paying for it.
No,
So-
I ain't
so-
I'm saying if she decides
Let's
to
play
get one.
devil's advocate then. But he wants to get into some medical issues, and she
Issue, yeah. But I'm saying if it's not a medical issue, something happened, they both is irresponsible, they got the money, and she want to get an abortion, she want to terminate the baby.
It has to be a conversation.
But what between you? She ain't got a conversation with you.
Between you and you, who you with?
No, it doesn't have to be a conversation. She don't have
let's make sure.
That's not mean his blessing to get a
Time out.
I'm saying it don't have to be a conversation, but she don't want it.
Put some age context to it.
Yeah.
Put some age context to this, guys.
I think some. I
Okay.
think sometimes.
18.
No, I didn't do it.
I think sometimes as men, we have these double standards that don't benefit us.
I can't tell you.
We argue it and we want to try to make it equal, and it's not, and it'll never be.
And I respect that because you just said what it is. It's not equal. Basically, we got two people that's 18. They're adults. They had unprotected sex. One gets pregnant. She decides, hey, I don't want to have it. He might say, I do want you or don't. It doesn't matter. She doesn't want to. So she goes to get an abortion. That's opting out of being a parent. She exercised that right. So if she had the baby and he was like, even though you didn't want it, even though you wanted it, I told you from the jump, I didn't. We just made a mistake. I want to opt out.
Yeah.
But if he opts out, he's
She
a
got-
dead.
No.
Conversation with my daughter, but I'm
But she had.
Double standards exist, right?
Oh,
Let's just be honest. It's a double standard,
I
right?
didn't know it was because I wanted it to be flat.
Okay, so you parent differently. That's why our parents are differently because double standards exist.
It can't be that way.
But it is that way.
She runs more of the risk, so how come she wouldn't have more of a son?
But that's her opting out of. I said
I don't agree. I agree with that because I know even if he wants to have that child, when the child is here and he just decides to fuck off and just disappear,
he didn't want it from the jump.
He didn't. My daughter is now stuck.
He didn't want it from the
My
jump.
daughter came
Shit
it was like, I already know this nigga ain't gonna do it. I need your help, pops. I can't say no to that.
Ain't none of us gonna say no to that.
I can't say no to that.
Because as a woman, because at 18, as a woman, now, we talking 18, right?
Yeah.
Our 18-year-old daughters come to us, a young woman. Hey, Dad, listen. I done got in a situation. Look, buddy already done hauled ass. He already told me he don't want it. He don't want to be around. I don't want to have it.
Okay.
That's not what I want.
Let me ask you this then.
That's all
Let's
I
say
need.
she has the baby, right?
Yeah.
She has the option of putting up for adoption, right? Is that opting out of parenthood?
No, that's not.
No.
No.
Bruh, no, wait. I'm very clear.
That's a whole another question.
No, I said she
We're
had
not doing that.
Listen, I said
There's too many uncles, me,
Yeah.
big.
No, I'm saying
He said the exact question.
yeah, I'm saying the action. If she has the child and she gives it away, is that her opting out of being a parent? Yes, 100%. Is that her? Okay, so if your son has a child and he opts away, is he still financially responsible? Does he still have got financial responsibility?
That makes him a deadbeat.
Okay, but if a woman does it, what does that make her?
Make her no deadbeat for getting an abortion.
But what if she gives a child up for adoption? Opt out of
That
Listen. That don't make her a deadbeat, man. Like, when
what makes her deadbeat?
I think that goes back
At some point, Jeff.
No, listen. Let's keep it. Come on, y'all.
Bro, we can't be.
bro.
Let's keep it a buck, though.
I think that goes back to what's been instilled to us as men. Basically, that saying of what a man makes, he takes care of.
Yeah.
Well, what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying, she don't take care of.
Well,
What's the woman saying?
What are you saying?
What's the woman saying?
No, but let's be real.
What are we saying to our daughters?
That's the question.
Is that the bigger question?
Honestly,
What do we teach them based on what the world teach them? What are we saying?
but from what we know about women have that third option. Do we have that
No,
third option?
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. And it's only in this country. It's
Yeah,
not like that in
yeah.
every single country.
Yeah.
In America, the rules are like that. In
Yeah.
other countries, they're not. So how can you say that's the right way to do it over here? But if you go to a third world country, it's not done that way. So
But we can't just walk in the countries. Everybody can just walk into this
But
motherfucker.
what do
So
you feel is the right way?
we can't just walk over. I can't. I was born in Germany. I can't just prance my black ass back into Germany. Like, hey, I'm here.
It ain't gonna happen.
Mother slunk. Like, I can't do that.
See how we never asked the fuck question? When I said it, he was like, man, I never thought about it that way. Because society don't tell you to think about it that way.
But
It's the same, man.
I was so ready to stand tall on the feet.
no, you know what? No, we're gonna unpack this shit.
Unpack
So
it.
what you just said is, if a girl do it, is that opting out?
Yes.
That's opting out.
If I call out work and I'm opting out,
Yes.
fucking feel like
You're
going.
not gonna work. Yes.
Oh, man,
You
we not gonna pick it. No, I don't have to feel like going. And if I have these days, then therefore I'm allowed to use one without being penalized.
But you
So
can
that if I
choose
don't
to-
want to have a baby, I can use this as a form of
Use what? Use what? When you say what, what are you talking about?
going to get an abortion.
That's opting out of being a mom.
Okay, but no.
Y'all all talking at the same time, so I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If you don't have a heart, hey, listen. Let's talk real factual
They can
shit.
kill it with a heartbeat.
No, they can't.
Yes,
No,
they can. Yes, they can.
No, that law went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So if they kill it with a heartbeat, that's
I'm
I'm
just
just opting out, right?
Listen, roll it.
It's fucked. But hey, guess what?
That's fact.
It's hey, whatever your choice is, you pro-choice, not pro. But I don't get. Listen, I know what I'm doing.
I'll just funky with it,
And
man.
at the end of the day, listen, if she chooses to say I'm not ready to be a fucking parent,
That's it.
I'm not ready to go to work today. I don't feel like it.
So
Guess what?
what if
Yeah,
the
man,
man
I'm
say
not
that?
going to motherfucking do it.
What
What?
if the man say, I ain't ready to be a parent?
Hey, just for timing, I'm gonna play this one thing I'll react to. I think he got to get out of here.
Hey, it's a good one, y'all. It's a good one. It's funky, man. I know I was gonna get y'all with that.
If I had a son, I could see it once in a
Piece of
year.
shit.
But my son should
Got
want to
thinking.
emulate me. He should want to be me. He is me. So I have to live a lifestyle which is worth emulating. This is the difference between kings and peasants. 99% of the men, including 99% of the men who are going to watch this interview, they're peasants. They have a peasant mindset. When a king had a son, he wasn't staying at home changing diapers. He was conquering new lands and going to battle for the name, for the bloodline, to set an example for his son to graze into, right? Dad's out here, he's conquered this, he's built this castle, he's out there, he's slayed those people, killed those people. I'm the next, I gotta go do something. That's how a king raises a son, by example. A peasant raises a son the same way a female raises a son. The fuck is this? Not parenting. That's not being a dad. It's not being a dad. You should want to see your children. You should love your children. You should protect your children. I'm not saying you shouldn't love them. I'm saying you should pick them up, have fun with them. Wow, love you so much. Been 2 hours. I'm out. See ya. That's how a father raises kids. If I had a son, I could see.
That's whatever country he's referring to. Yes, that might be right.
So Andrew Tate basically is saying you should raise as a king, you should raise your prince, your son, as your protege, in the sense of kings have shit to do. You have to take care of, you have to provide for the entire kingdom. So you don't have time to sit around and kind of coddle the children. You have time to be an example to the children. So you have your time to come in for 20 minutes or however much time it takes for you to have your time with your child, sons, daughters as well, apparently what it's saying. But after that, you need to go back out to conquering the world and being the kingship that you are. I can understand what he's saying if you already are at the mountain where you have that bread already. You can obviously tell he has money.
Yeah.
And the way he talks, he has money. So in the sense of more general speaking, I don't necessarily agree with him. I don't agree with much of anything he says because it's too elitist. Like you know what I mean? Like there's gray area for everything.
It's just
in
a
my
lot.
world. Yeah, in my world, there's gray area for everything. We can talk about anything. There's no one way to do nothing because it's too much shit that didn't happen since the accumulation of the world. Like there's no way to do one way. There's no way to do it.
Yeah.
It's not possible. So people that talk that way, I automatically it's hard for me to listen to them.
Mm.
But I like what he's trying to say in the sense of, you know what I mean, king, go out and do you. Like don't feel bad that you're not at home doing the fraternal stuff because hopefully the mom is taking care of that while you're gone. And I feel like that's what he's trying to kind of point out. Now, as far as us, do we necessarily agree with that in the sense of go out and conquer, king? Your home is kind of being taken care of by the wife. So go conquer and then come back as you please.
It just depends on your situation. If it works for you, works for you. But I think women should be able to go out and pursue what they want to because we need women doctors, OBGYNs, RNs, You can't have that if the woman is just at home taking care of kids.
Right.
So we
And they
need
want to be
them.
out here.
Yeah, we absolutely. So if it works for you and your setup, cool. Does it have to be that way? America wouldn't be America if it was that way. You wouldn't have, like I said, women doctors, lawyers, advocates. So it can't be that way for everybody. But if it works for you, it works for you.
Okay. Now, how we're gonna close? We're gonna close this conversation. This is a great conversation. We can keep it going all night long. But I would suggest that we close it is we just give our last statements on it. And as far as when it comes to sons and daughters and how you would raise them and how you feel about the differences, is there a difference? Or I'll close my statement and then you guys can kind of follow suit after that. We'll start with coach and round our way through there. So to end it for me, I don't have any kids above the age of 15 right now. As of right now, my idea is all of my kids are on the same playing field. Nobody is the fuck upstairs if you don't pay bills or you're not family. If you're not family or you don't pay bills, you don't get to go upstairs. That's how my house was as a kid, and I love that model. Outside of that, when you go to other people's houses and when you're dating, I try and put as much into my children as I can. I want to be upstanding gentlemen, upstanding women. I want them to be smart in whatever it may be. Small little thing. My daughter has a boyfriend right now. He's
Uh-oh.
a genius. Little boy, smart. He plays football. He plays all the sports. Smart as hell.
Yeah.
But when he walk in the house, he don't speak to me every time.
That's a problem.
He ain't too smart.
No. Exactly.
And so this is
He wasn't railed up.
and I want to rip it. I want to be
No.
It's
Stop
over.
going.
But it's a conversation.
Build that relationship with him. That's a
Right.
relationship builder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Not even that, man. You gotta put a little bit of abrasiveness to hey, little nigga, you walk in my house, you speak to me.
No, see that's where y'all. I'm in education, and I'm telling you, that's where you fuck up at.
You got it. I'm gonna let
Go ahead,
everybody say it. I'm gonna let everybody say it. But with that, and I thank you for that. But with that being said, I'm dealing with my own little household issues when it comes to dating and things of that nature. So I'm not going to be 100% correct. I haven't figured it all out. I'm not even there yet to say that this is the way to do it. But this is the route that I'm going, and I prefer to have it across the board. This is how I live. This is how the house is going to go. And if you don't like it, you're more than welcome to find somewhere else to go. I'm passing to Coach D after that.
So, understand everybody that walks through the threshold of our homes don't come from what we come from, and they're not being taught the things that we're teaching our babies. So, as you just said, that might be a thing like, hey, bro. So, everything is as simple as a conversation, especially for our little homies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, listen. As a sign of respect, when you walk in any man's house, not just mine, when you walk into any man's home, stop. Hey, how you doing, sir? Look them in their eyes. Give them a firm handshake. Everything is a coachable moment.
Right.
We got to stop with these assumptions that they know. Our babies don't know.
That's true.
Our babies come from broken homes.
Mm.
And it's something about this young person that my daughter and or son liked. So let me have a conversation with them. So maybe I can coach them into possibly imparting some positivity into that their friend's life.
Mm.
Now, whether or not they take it is on them. But at the end of the day, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But as it pertains to male, female, man, 10 years ago I probably would have been like, hey, son, go knock that thing down. I would be lying to myself as Derek White today. No. Because you gonna knock that thing down, and eventually that rubber gonna come off. And eventually you're not gonna pull out. And eventually I'm gonna be a granddad. So I say that to say, can I really hold you to the real standard? Hey man, if you feel like, I tell my boys this, and I've texted my older son and he's at work, but I tell them they have 3 rules. The first rule is don't disrespect your mother in no capacity. And I have children, young boys with other women. Don't disrespect your mother ever. Now, unless you want to see that side of me, I'm gonna beat your ass if I ever hear you disrespected your mother, and I don't care what she say to you. You will finish college and get a degree, not high school. You will go to college and get a degree, and you will not have a baby before marriage. Those are the three things I tell my boys.
Mhm.
Lord's will, I pray that they abide by those three rules. But I'm trying to change the narrative. I got 8 now. 5 of them is with my wife, but I got 8 though, or 9 rather. I have a stepson. My oldest son is my stepson. So nonetheless, the thing is, I pray that everybody was raised, with some kind of moral and value, because that's what this thing is about. And our job is to always pay it forward, give it back to ours, so that hopefully they grow up to still have those morals and values and pass them down. No, I don't want my young lady, my daughter upstairs with a boy. I don't want my son upstairs with a chick, because we know what's gonna happen. So while I'm setting you up pretty much, eventually you're gonna want to know. So, am I up under my roof? No, it's a no for me. Y'all can sit in the living room. We'll give you privacy. We'll move on. But and that's for both. I want to keep it fair. So that's Coach D's part on that.
A quick question for you. When you say it was a yes or no on the what was the base? I forgot. Yeah, we'll come back. Why don't you go ahead and get yours?
All right, so
yeah.
back to what we were saying as far as like when you were saying to have a conversation with the young nigga. Well, I say, nigga, speak to me when you walk into my house
Yeah.
is because like I'm naturally a cool motherfucker. So every other interaction that you're gonna have with me after that is gonna be cool. And I don't want you thinking that I'm so cool to where you can be lax to that magnitude. Like, quick little story. So when me and my wife was dating, she asked me to come over one night. Her parents home and everything. I could have easily went through the door. She asked me to climb through a window. Her dad came in the room and was like, "When'd you get over here?" I said, I didn't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I had to admit that I climbed in the window. He like, if you ever do some shit like that again, I'm gonna have to go in the closet on you. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I never did no shit like that after that. And me and my father-in-law's conversations always like cool as hell. Even the hardest conversations, cool as hell. But there's been something established way back when where it's like, all right, I'm not gonna play with you like that because I see what you're passionate about. So it's like, granted, naturally it's your daughter, but you're gonna be passionate about it. But it's just more or less like, all right, well, as a man, because hell, we know our words beget violence if it come to that. So like you got to take heed of that. So in learning that's something that I learned as a man that I didn't necessarily get from my dad because it was okay for me to bring a woman home or bring my wife home and I could do whatever we was doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the difference goes to where like because knocking my wife down all the time in my house, but she ended up being my wife. Like my dad always say, like I knew you was gonna end up marrying her, so that's the only reason I let you do it. Cause like you ain't had no other girls around and nothing like that. So,
But see, I like that though. I mean, I like that because as dad, he recognized, wait a minute, I'm seeing the same young lady
It's a pattern
all the time. So therefore, I know my boy. You got a thing for her. So eventually, you're gonna get you some die. So he knew that. As a man, he knew that. But the key thing you said was it was the same woman. It wasn't this ain't no damn fucking, in and out, in and out. So I respect that.
And then at the same time with that, like also my mom wasn't really for that shit because she used to be trying to kick her out, and my dad was like, "Hey, chill out, chill out." And like hell, even then, my mom would be trying to give my wife game about how she should be operating and
like
things of that nature. So it's like, we everybody in the situation kind of took heed to it. They gave us our space to grow, but also, you know what I'm saying, they gave us the words of encouragement and some leadership to kind of get us to where we at now.
Didn't let y'all go too far before y'all was ready to get there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
So I guess that's how my vision goes of it.
That's dope. That's dope.
I think I'm gonna ride with you, man. Even after all that stuff Nah, man, ain't nobody going upstairs, man. I think that's the best way both ways, because when I think about my history, it's a chain reaction. You know what's gonna happen eventually. And when you're young and when you have kids, it's just everything, you know. So that's no one's going upstairs when in this house. But again, I think it's such a balance, and that's why I was saying sometimes you switch. So like if I'm telling my son instilling, hey, open up doors for young ladies, if that's what we're doing, it's important for my kid's mom to say, hey, when a man open up the door, you tell him thank you.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
though this
for
stuff
sure.
is common. I mean, this is some of this stuff is just common courtesy. You open up doors for people in general.
Yeah.
Like when they come in behind you. And in general, you say thank you.
But
That's
you
just
gotta teach them to say thank you though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
say thank you. And when you teach a son, hey, don't treat her like a man. Don't be getting in her face. She's not a man. At the same time, she's treating her daughter, hey, don't be talking to this man like you're not a man. So don't be getting up in his face and
Like
causing
that.
this. Can you take it? No, you're not a man. So act in your femininity, or it's a way to express yourself. So it's both ways. It's like, and I think you need both. I think you need that balance.
Yeah.
And then we can co-op together much better. But
Right.
when you just got one person teaching men how to be men, but you don't have the women teaching women how to be women, then it's a balance. And I think in society has been so much on men. Hey, now it's yin and yang now. So mothers teach them daughters, fathers teach them sons. Let's come together and use what we learn.
Let's be evenly yoked. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. I love it, man. It's good stuff, gentlemen.
I just want to comment. When you were talking, they said, "Do you think that boy can't look at you as he flapping your daughter's cheeks?"
Hey, that's for you.
What'd he say?
Is that for you?
I'm gonna pause for a
Oh,
second.
dear.
What'd he say?
He said, "Do you think the guy can't look at
No,
your-
let it fly,
his
dude.
daughter's cheek?"
Because guess what? 'Cause that was us.
I wish there was a better way to answer this. But what I will say is I know my daughter to the level of it ain't time for that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Even with that,
It
bro.
ain't time for that.
Even with that, I completely believe you on that. But what I'm saying is like he already fears you because he doesn't speak to you when he comes into your house. Like that's something that's far as a level of respect that where somebody didn't teach him to where you need to teach him. So
And I
like,
appreciate that because I don't take it as respect. I take it as disrespect. I take it as I don't have to talk to you.
because if you tell him, then the next man he ends up dealing with, he knows. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak to this man when I walk.
Exactly.
out.
But he's not intimidated. He's not intimidated.
See,
They don't know. I'm telling y'all. Like
Yeah,
I'm telling
right.
you, just to say thank you.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, many kids cross the threshold. Yeah. Just in the morning,
Yeah.
they don't know that
Common
the normal thing to do is
common courtesy has to be when anybody says male or female, hey, how you doing? Because they're entering their house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was raised to go straight to the owner of the crib.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Derek.
Yes.
For letting me in your house.
Yes.
You know, anything goes wrong, it ain't
Yeah.
me.
So
I mean, like,
I don't want us to
That's
come
not-
down on our young people.
Mm.
They don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Like seriously, like some of them have no clue that, you know, they might be like, how you doing, Mr. P? You know, like this.
Cute.
How are you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So have that conversation and teach them, because if we're not teaching them, then the streets is. And the streets is pants hanging down and what up, brah, man, what up, brah.
Right.
Listen, my son, real quick, right? It's back on you. My son smoked weed, right? Listen, this month came to the family reunion. I kid you not. Family picnic, rather, about 3-4 years ago. I mean, scummy. He hugging his aunties, my mom. You know, his family members smelling like skunk, right?
Mhm.
I had to tap him on the shoulder. Hey, bro, we don't do that. At the end of the day, wait. You're grown. Wait, though. Wait. I don't, because they don't want to smell that.
Right.
They don't want to smell their hand and smell like weed. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I had to tell him,
Yeah.
bro, please, like, don't do that. That's not a good
Yeah,
look.
no, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in his head, you know, shit, I'm allowed to smoke.
At least I showed up.
Yeah.
Or I'm here. Yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, dude, could you please not do that? That's not a good look, baby.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. And I will say another response to that comment because it just took me off guard. The way the comment came out, like, come on, bro. Like, how the fuck? How you want
It's a comment.
how you want me to respond to that? So, like, another way to respond to that would be I would expect my daughter to be more in control of her, whatever it may be. Not even in control. They could be doing that. They could not be doing that. I don't know. It's not really up to me to judge or control that. But as what I see in front of me, I see a very timid young man and I see a very timid young lady. They might be doing stuff. They may not be doing stuff. I can't. I'm not there for that. I can't. I'm not there all the time. But what I will say is I did my best to instill whatever I could have
There you go.
instilled into them.
There you go.
And I just hope
I trust that
with the
they
best of
carry
my
it out.
ability that they're doing the best thing for them from what I instilled into. And I'm gonna close with that. And again, that is also my daughter-in-law. So her father has also instilled. So she has two men in her life who has instilled as much as they possibly can into her to make her the best person that she could possibly be. So I would hope that she's acting that out and living that out. If she is, great. If she's not, we'll cross that road when it comes to it. But this is another great conversation with the Trillion Army. I love being here, and I love this conversation. Hope you guys had a great time with it.
Yes, sir.
And yeah.
Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe. Till next time.